our application analysis. Uh, so last class तक हम लोगों ने देखा था we are focusing on the domain model and we are in between our analysis. So now what we are trying to do is that we like to add our major application artifacts to our domain model. So in this way we are just completing our treatment of analysis, and now we'll like to move to this application artifacts and like to include all those application artifacts in your analysis, because these are very important for us, and these artifacts are visible to our user, and thus they must be approved by your user. So this is just a last step of your analysis. So you are having lots of iterations. So in first iteration you like to add some application artifacts, and then it will be visible to user, and then user must approve them, and then again we update all those things. So this is how we can go for several iterations. So first thing in our application analysis is that we like to go for application interaction model. So right from your domain model, so our domain models are usually statics and their operations are usually unimportant, because these domain models are doesn't do anything that, or we can say that these are static in nature. So the focus of our domain modeling is building a model of the intrinsic concepts. So when we are completing our domain model that we had completed in the last classes, so after completing the domain model, we'll shift our focus to the details of an application and how interact with the another artifact. So we'll like to include this application interaction model. So we'll begin our interaction modeling by determining the system boundary of our overall boundary of the system. Then we like to identify the use cases, and then we'll flesh them out using some scenarios and sequence diagrams, and then we'll also prepare some activity diagrams for the use cases, and activities diagram for all those use cases, those are very complex. And once we fully understand our use cases, then we'll like to organize them with their different types of relationship, and we'll finally check against these use cases or the interaction model against our domain clause model to ensure that there is no inconsistency exists between our domain model as an use case model. So we can construct our application interaction model by using this following steps. This is determining the system boundaries, finding actors, then finding use cases, then finding initial and the final events, then we'll prepare for the normal scenarios and adding variation and the exception scenarios in our model. So this is how we can go for different types of things. So and इसके आगे भी कुछ है, अभी मैंने क्योंकि यहाँ डायग्राम आ रहा था तो मैंने यहाँ उसको नहीं करा. So we'll start by determining the system boundaries. So when we are trying to develop this application model, we must know the precise scope of our application. That is the boundary of our system. हमने start भी करा था. Let's say हमने जब initially use case start करा था, so मेरा focus था, let's say not use cases. मैंने जब system का आपको समझाया था, तब मैंने आपको बताया था that we are having a system, then we are having some environments, and then how your system interacts with your environment. So फर्स्ट थिंग इज टू आइडेंटिफाई द सिस्टम बाउंड्री कि हमारा एप्लीकेशन का डोमेन कितना है. सो वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द सिस्टम बाउंड्री इन ऑर्डर टू स्पेसिफाई द फंक्शनलिटी, बिकॉज लेट्स से अगेन हमने जैसे एसटीपीएल का इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम बना है, सो हमको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि एसटीपीएल कितनी कितनी जगह पर ऑपरेट कर रहा है, इंस्टेड कि हम ओवरऑल इंदौर को या ओवरऑल एजुकेशन सिस्टम को इंक्लूड करें. सो दिस मीन्स दैट व्हेन यू आर determine the system boundary, it means that you must decide what the system includes and what are the more important things and what we can omit from our application. So if your system boundary is drawn correctly, then you can treat your system as a black box, and how it interacts with your word, and what the input it takes from your system, and what the output it will give to your overall environment. So during our analysis, we can determine the purpose of our system and how it looks, or how what are the actors of our system. Then during design, we can change the internal implementation of our system as long as we can maintain the external behavior of our system. So our system boundary is much more important for all those cases. So uh, usually we should not consider the human as a part of system unless we are modeling the human organization, such as a business or the government department. So humans are actors that must interact with the system, but their actions are not under the control of system. However, we must allow a human error in our system. So again, take an example. If we are going for implementation of our SVV information system. So for this SVV information system, we can add a human as an the actor of system. Like students are the human and the faculties are human, or the drivers are the bus drivers are again your human. So we can include all those things in all those human in our system. So because they are the part of our system, like when you I'm just delivering my lecture to you, so this is again in part of system. So I need some application software so that can help me to take a lecture online, or I can fill attendance. Then by some error मैंने मिर्जा असद बेग की अटेंडेंस नहीं लगा पाया, सो दिस इज एन ह्यूमन एरर. सो वी कैन अलाउ ह्यूमन एरर्स. देन बाय डिफॉल्ट फिर मेरे पास कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगी तो फिर मैं या बाय डिफॉल्ट मैं कहीं ना कहीं उसकी असद की अटेंडेंस को मैनेज करने की कोशिश करूँगा. सो we can add our human in the system if they are the part of system, and if we are driving our system, then we have to allow human error in our system. And how we can uh, adjust all those errors in our system. So first thing is that we have to determine our system boundary. Then the second thing is that finding our actors. So once we had identified the system boundary, then we must identify the external object that interacts directly with the system. So this object that directly acts with the interacts with our system are usually the actors of system. So actors include human, external devices, other softwares. So हमने check करा भी था that we are having some preliminary actors and the secondary actors, or the primary actors and the secondary actors. So this is how we can identify different actors. So हमने उसको पढ़ चुके हैं. So I'm not going in details because we had covered all those things. So we are just going for why we are finding the actors. So the important thing about the actor is that they are not under the control of application, and they can do anything that is somewhat unpredictable. यूजर्स आपका सिस्टम का कुछ भी कर सकता है. वी आर नॉट फोकसिंग दैट कि मैं यहाँ पर अटेंडेंस ले रहा हूँ तो या मैं क्लास पढ़ा रहा हूँ, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मैं सिर्फ क्लास ही पढ़ा रहा हूँ. इवन आई कैन चेक माई व्हाट्सअप, और यू कैन आप भी अगर पढ़ रहे हैं या आप भी क्लास में ज्वाइन है तो स्ट्रीट की आप क्लास पढ़ ही रहे होंगे, आप हो सकता है टीवी भी देख रहे होंगे, रिया का केस चल रहा होगा. सो दिस इज हाउ you are doing some unpredictable things. So that is there are some expected sequences for your actors, or the behavior for the actors. So an application design should be robust so that it does not crash if our actor fails to behave as expected. Like again, जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि हमने एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था कि मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ और मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ या हमारा एप्लीकेशन एक्सपेक्ट कर रही है कि आप पढ़ रहे हैं. इंस्टेड मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, मेरा माइक ऑन है, इन केस मेरा माइक ऑफ हो गया, तो हमारी एप्लीकेशन को कहीं ना कहीं रोबस्टनेस होना पड़ेगा जहाँ पर ये एप्लीकेशन कंटिन्यू चलता रहे. या फिर कुछ ऐसा होना चाहिए था कि मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि आप जब सुन रहे हैं तो आपकी एप्लीकेशन आपकी तरफ से माइक म्यूट है. इन डिफरेंट केसेस, लाइक आप मोबाइल से कनेक्टेड हैं, इन दैट केस हो सकता है कि आपका मोबाइल आपने म्यूट करना भूल गए. सो मेरे पास सिस्टम जो ऐसा रोबस्ट होना चाहिए था कि मैं आपके सिस्टम को या मैं आपको म्यूट कर पाऊँ. तो कल मैंने करा भी था शायद. सो दिस इज एन वे हाउ आई कैन एडजस्ट actors if they are not behaving as expected. So this is how we can identify actors and what are the behaviors that actor is supposed to do in your system, and we should have we should also model the unexpected behavior of actors. So when in finding our actor, we are not searching the individual, but we are going for architectural type behavior. So each actor represent as an idealized user that exercise on the some subsets of your functionality. So हम ये नहीं बोल रहे कि हम इंडिविजुअल पे काम कर रहे हैं. What we are trying to do is that we are finding some architectural behavior. We are having lots of functionality, and for let's say this functionality, we consider all these functionalities in set. So some functionalities are carried out by some users and another type of behavior is carried by another user. So what we are trying to do is that we are having some functionalities and we are having some subset of this functionality that is being carried out by our user. So this is how we are identifying the behavior of an external agent on your system instead of identifying the individual. Let's say मैं भी एक एक्टर हूँगा, आप भी एक एक्टर होंगे, then रोमिल सर भी एक एक्टर होंगे. So what we are trying to do is that we are identifying the behavior. So behavior में ये हो रहा है कि मैं और रोमिल सर एक ही टाइप का behavior कर रहे हैं. तो instead having that Abhishek and रोमिल सर, all those are actors, we are going for architectural type of behavior. So हम इन दोनों को एक मर्जअप करेंगे, then we are having actor that is known as faculty, then we are having another actor like student. So आपके पास 3000 in SVIT, we are having 3000 students. So उनका एक behavior है. So what we are trying to make is that we are identifying the architectural behavior instead of identifying the individual person. So when we are examining our each external object to see if they are having some distinct faces. So instead what we can do is that our actor is an coherent face present to our system. जैसा मैंने बोला था, let's say Romil sir and me. So we are not in distinct. So instead, sorry, if we have the distinct faces, but yeah, we are having the same type of behavior. So what we can do is that we can merge up Romil sir and me as a coherent face, and then we can represent all those as a coherent face to our system. So now, as a coherent face, Romil sir, me, Anand Singh Rajawat sir, and all those are being a faculty of our system. So this is how we can find our actors. So the important point is that we are not mapping individual persons. Instead, we are mapping the behavior and behavior like an architectural behavior, and those architectural behaviors are coherent. Fine. Now the third step after identifying the actors, then we'll move for use cases. So for each actor, we have to list out the fundamentally different ways your actor uses the system. So let's say this is again an actor and this is again an actor. So this is again an actor. So जैसे मैंने आपको बताया भी था, we are having different types of actor. Let's say these are the primary actor and these are two secondary type of actor, because they are going, ये यहाँ पर इफेक्ट कर रहा है और ये सिस्टम को यूज कर रहा है और सिस्टम इनको यूज कर रहा है. सो वी कैन से दैट these are secondary type of actor. Now when we are going to finding the use cases, so we have to list down the fundamentally different ways in which your actor uses the functionality. So we are having different types of activities or different types of the functionality that our actor is performing in our system. So each of these functionality can be represented as an use cases. So these use cases partition your functionalities into a small number of discrete units. So overall this is a function and this is our system, and we are having, this is the boundary of our system, and we are having lots of functionalities available in the system. So what are the use cases? Use cases are just a functionality, or we can say that these are the separate or the small portion of your functionality. So in precise way we can say that these are the discrete units, and it maps all the system behavior, it maps all your system behavior, and your overall system behavior may fall on the this set of the functionalities that are being available. So in some cases we have some trouble when deciding what are the behavior and what are the marginal behavior. So we have to keep sure that we have to identify the borderline for making the partition. Let's say this is an initiate session and this is a query account. So we have to and borderline, or we have some clear cut idea that what are the partition we are using for identifying the different functionalities. So this is solely depends on your decision making. So how you can identify different functionalities in your system. So while making all those decisions, we should go further. Each use case should represent a kind of your services that your system provides, like something that provides some values to your user. So we try to keep our use cases that are similar to details. So what are the main decision making criteria is that we have to find out what are the different services that are being provided, and and then we have to keep all the use cases that are similar of detail. So all the functions that are being similar, so we can merge up and we can go that say that these are our use cases. For an example, let's say again this is in my ATM example. So let's say one use case is like we can have yeah let's say I'm having some apply for loan, and then another is that we can withdraw some cash or we can have some transactions. So these are the different functionality. Let's say this customer, when he inputs his card to your system, so this is an initiate session. uh, so your session will be initiated right from your customer, and all these functionalities move toward your bank, then or your central bank computer. This is known as consortium. So हमने इसको देखा भी था last class में. Then after initiating session, you are going for some transaction process. So these are two different functionality. First is that you must enter your username, sorry, your card, and you enter your password, and then एक functionality, this is independent. So ये एक functionality होगी. Then we are going from another functionality that you are going from transaction. So transaction में that you can go for your uh, checking your balance, or you can take out some cash right from your ATM. So these are different functionalities. So this is how we can identify different uh, use cases as in the different separate unit of your function, and these are considered as a discrete unit of your functionalities. Again, so let's say again going for this use cases. So we are having, let's say this is an initiate session. So what we can do is that your customer go for your initiating session. So your ATM establishes the identity of your user and makes the availability of list of your accounts and the different action he can perform. So right from your initiate session, your ATM, so this is your boundary. So what it does is that it initiate your session, and then it provides the list of action what he can do after initiating your session. So this is the uh, just and functionality of your ATM. Then we are in some query account that are being available. So again, customer queries. So your system provide, when your customer queries, then your system provides some general data of your account, such as like you are having current billings, or the last date of transaction, or the date of mailing last statements, and so on. Or you can he can ask for your pin change. So these are different query about your account. Then again we are having some process transaction. So your customer starts your process transaction. So right from your process transaction, your ATM system performs some action that can affect your account balance. So this is your transaction can transaction always affects your uh, account balance. So how it can affect, like by depositing or by withdrawing an amount, or you can go for transferring transferring money from one account to another account. So when we are going from this transaction or process transaction, your ATM system performs the action that affects your account balance. Then your ATM ensures that are the completed transactions are ultimately returned to your bank database. So after having some uh, making some transaction on your bank, then all these transactions should be written on your bank database. So this is your consortium that is being available. So we can read all those topics. Then we are going from your transmitting data. So this customer doesn't interact with this transmitting data. Your ATM uses the consortium facilities to communicate with the appropriate bank computer. So this is how we can transmit her data, like in 15 minutes or in 20 minutes, or let's say some periodically you can go for. So in transmit data you can make some logs, or how much amount is uh, how much balance is available in your current ATM machine. So these are the different types of data that are being transmitted right from your consortium computer to your bank, or to right from your ATM to your bank and the consortium computer. So these are different functionality that has been available. So after finding your use cases, so what are these use cases? So we are use cases we are just partitioning our system functionality into discrete pieces, and we show our actors that are involved in the each pieces, that is our use cases. But they, when we are going from this finding this discrete pieces, functionality in the discrete pieces, or we are mapping with your customers, but it does not show the behavior of your system clearly. So to understand our behavior, what we are trying to do is that we must understand the execute sequence that cover your overall uh, uh, that cover our overall use cases. So we can start by finding what are the different initial and the final events that are associated with each use cases. So in many cases, our initial event is just a request for the services that our use case provides. Uh, just all. So just so yeah, I'm back. So we are we are in the process of finding your initial and the final events. So in many cases, our initial events are just an, we can say that these are just a request for your accessing your services right from your uh, use case, what the services that your services provides, use case provides. Or in other cases, we can say that our initial event is just an occurrence that triggers some chain of activity. So these are some uh, occurrences, like we are initiating a session and then we can go for query account, or we can go for transaction. So either it is just an initiating services that are provided by your use cases, or we can have some chain of, we are triggering some chain of activities right from your use cases. So when we are finding the initial and the final events, we just uh, identify the meaningful name for these initial events. So let's say again, so we are having some list of initial and the final events for use cases. So let's say again, for we are going from this initiate session. So when we are having some this initiate session, so the initial event is the customer insert his cash card. So we are having some initial event is that customer insert his cash card or the ATM card. Then there are two final events, whether the system keeps the ATM card or the system returns the ATM card. So we are having for this two activities for this particular session or the particular use cases, we are just accessing uh, services right from your ATM. So first we are having some initial events and we are having final events. So first initial event is that your, again, your customer inputs his ATM card into machine, and then again we are having uh, two final events that are either your system keeps ATM system keeps your ATM card, or he return your ATM card. Then again we are going from your query account. So again, for this query account, we are having some initial event, that is your customer request for your account data. Then we are having some final events. Let's say your system delivers your uh, information of your account to your particular customer. So जैसे मैंने पूछा कि let's say मैंने बोला कि मेरे अकाउंट में पैसा कितना है, so this is my query account, let's check balance in your account. So this is my initial event. Then the final event is that मेरा सिस्टम मेरे को मेरे अकाउंट में कितना पैसा है वो बता देगा. So this is again an output. So again we are, when again taking an example, that we are going from this process transaction. So the initial event of this customer initiates your transaction. So मैंने मेरा transaction start करा. Let's say मेरे को पैसा निकालना ही है. So I am just entering my number of my amount. मेरे को amount कितना निकालना है, तो मेरे पास उतना पैसा मैंने मेरे यूजर इंटरफेस में, लेट्स से मेरे को 5,000 निकालना है तो 5,000 डाल दिया. देन वी आर हैविंग टू फाइनल इवेंट्स. सो व्हाट इज द फाइनल इवेंट? आइदर वी कैन कमिट और वी कैन अबॉर्ट आवर ट्रांजेक्शन. अगर अकाउंट में 5,000 रुपये हैं तो 5,000 रुपये निकल जाएंगे. अगर 5,000 रुपये अकाउंट में नहीं है तो नहीं निकल सकते. एटीएम में 5,000 रुपये हैं तो 5,000 रुपये निकल सकते हैं, एटीएम में 5,000 रुपये नहीं है तो नहीं निकल सकते. तो either we can have two final events. Let's say we can commit our transaction or we can abort our transaction. Then again we are having some transmit data that is available. So for this transmit data, the initial event could be triggered by your customer's request. When you are having again transmit data, so initial event could be triggered by your customer request for account data, or we can say that another possible event could be the recovery of our network or the power or another kind of failure. And then the final event is just a successful of transmission of data. So these are different types of the initial events and the final events associated with different use cases. So after identifying the initial and the final events, what we can do is that we can prepare a normal scenario. For each use case, we have to prepare one or more typical dialogues to get a feel that we are having some expected system behavior. Like that is, we are going for creating some normal scenarios. So these are the expected behavior, that is our basic flow or the normal flow of our system. So this scenario illustrate your major interaction or your external display formats or your information exchanges. So when we are going for a scenario, so your scenario is just a sequence of events, that मेरे पास sequence of events थी, मैंने यहाँ पे initial event थी, then we are into final event. So this scenario is just a sequence of event, a sequence of events when your different objects are interacting. Like we are just in thinking like that we are having some sample interaction rather than trying to write down all the general uh, cases directly. So this is how we can identify some normal scenario. जैसे मेरे को log in करना है, तो what is the my actions or sequence of actions. Let's say मैंने एंटर करा कि मेरा यूज़र नेम क्या था, मेरा पासवर्ड क्या था, और स्ट्रीट आई जस्ट क्लिक ऑन द लॉगिन बटन. सो मेरे पास एक लॉगिन पेज आया, देन आई एम एंटरिंग माय यूज़र नेम, आई एंटरिंग माय पासवर्ड, देन योर सिस्टम चेक्स whether the username field is not empty and your password field is not empty, and if both are not empty, then uh, we are submitting our data to our database, and whether we are checking whether this particular username exists in our data. If it exists, then we'll check whether the supplied password is correct or not. So this is how we can create a normal scenarios. Then again, then we can have some adding, we can add some variation or exception scenario. So this is just a normal scenario जो हमने पढ़ा भी था, what is the basic flow of our event, and then this adding variation or the exception. So what are this adding variation or exception? That is, we are going for some alternative flow or alternative course or alternative uh, action that is being taken. So this is our, so this is my just an use case diagram, and then we are identifying some initial and the final events, and we have to write down all the initial and the final events as a sequence. So in your sequence you are going from the good condition and a sunlight condition जो हमने पढ़ा भी था, right from use cases, and then we are going from this dark condition or the night condition or the worst condition or the base condition or the alternate condition when you are not expected that your system is going to create. लेट्स से मैंने मेरे सिस्टम के अंदर या फेसबुक में मैंने किसी की प्रोफाइल खोलने की कोशिश करी, तो पहले वो आपसे लॉगिन मांगेगा. किसी बंदे ने लॉगिन खोला ही नहीं है तो आप उसकी प्रोफाइल नहीं देख पाओगे. सो दिस इज माय अल्टरनेटिव इवेंट, दैट इज अ यूजर मस्ट लॉग इन योर सिस्टम. सो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन गो फॉर alternative events. So I think you are all comfortable with this basic flow and the alternative flow. Then the next thing is that we have to adding the variation exception. So this is just a simple example for your ATM. Let's say your ATM asks for your user to insert a card, and user insert his card, then ATM accepts a card and reads its serial number. So this is my just an this is just my basic flow of initiating a session. So then this is for just initiating session. Then your user enters his password, let's say 1234. Then ATM verifies your password and contact to consortium and bank for making your log that a particular user is logged in your system at particular instant of time. Then ATM displays and menu account for command. Okay, fine. जिसे अगर आपके पास अभी TCS में दैट यू आर गोइंग फॉर सम इंटरव्यू, सो अगर आपसे वो लॉगिन की पासवर्ड लॉगिन की एक्टिविटी भी पूछेंगे तो लॉगिन की एक्टिविटी में आप ये भी डालिएगा कि जैसे आपका यूजर नेम पासवर्ड सक्सेसफुल होता है तो उसके पीछे हर बंदे का एक लॉग बनता है कि कितनी बजे से कितनी बजे तक ये बंदा सिस्टम पे लॉग इन रहा और उसकी क्या एक्शंस होंगी। तो ये सब चीज़ें लॉगिन के साथ चलती रहेंगी, तो आप इस चीज़ को भूलना मत अगर आपसे कभी पूछा जाए। फाइन, देन user your ATM prints and receives and eject cards. And so this is how you can go for adding variation and the exception scenario in your particular interaction model. So इसको ज़्यादा समझाने की जरूरत नहीं, हमने इसको वैसे ही कवर कर चुके हैं in the earlier sections. So then we are after finding uh, adding your variation and then exception scenario, then we'll go for finding the external events. So what are the external events? So usually we have to examine the scenarios to find out the external events that include your all inputs or decisions or the interrupts or the interaction right from your users or right from your external devices. So when we are considering this external event, so your event can trigger your this event can trigger effects on your target objects, like you are having some internal computation steps that are not even, or you are going from some accept, exceptional computation that interacts with your external world. So you can use your scenarios to find what are the normal events, but we have to consider all the unusual events or the error conditions or alternative flow. What you can what are you comfortable, or either you can go for unusual events. So these are different names, let's say unusual events or the error condition or the alternative flow. So when we are having a transmission information to your object is an event. For example, let's say we are entering a password, so there should be a message sent from your external agent user to a particular object of ATM. So somehow we are mapping some interaction. So what we are trying to do is that we like to group all these type of events under single name event that have some same effect or flow of control, even if their parameter values are differ, like uh, enter password, so मेरा password अलग होगा, दूसरे का password अलग होगा. So we are having different types of parameter value, but we have to find out, we have to group together single event. Let's say consider this example. So हमने sequence diagram बना रखे थे. So this is an when we are going from finding an external event, that is we are developing in sequence diagram right from your basic flow and the alternative flow. And so we had identified different objects that are being interacting with system. So this is an object. तो आप यहाँ पर अगर चेक करेंगे तो मैंने यहाँ ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम नहीं दिया. So this is an just an identity. So after column it means that this object is related to your particular class user and this object is related to your particular class ATM. इसका भी नाम नहीं है, क्योंकि नाम होता तो we are providing this name before our call, similar for the consortium banks, right? So we have to find the external event. So what is the external event? So your ATM displays menu when a particular user insert a card into your system. So your ATM system displays a menu. Then so this menu is just a similar. So this is again an external event that is triggered by user when he inserts a card. Then he selects. So what are the contents of your particular menu? So it solely depends on in the later phases of your class design. So what are the items that should be displayed to your user? Then we'll go for selecting our withdrawal cases. So we are going for this withdrawal cases, we select a withdrawal from here. Then we have to select account, which either this is a saving account or this is a current account. Then he requests what are the amount you want to take from your ATM machine. So he enters this amount. Then ATM again creates an triggering event that it verifies your fund. Then consortium again verifies right from your banking system. He confirm, your bank again confirms and said to consortium that yeah, it is fine. So this is consortium is just related to a computer system, that is centralized computer system for only for your ATM machine. Then it confirms your fund. Then your ATM machine dispenses your cash and your user takes cash right from your machine, and then we'll move forward. So this is how you can go for finding your external events. Then we are having this after identifying this sequence diagram. So we are again stick to your external event. So when you are moving to this you are mapping this event, so this is just an events for your ATM card. So when you are having a user, so user insert his card and then enter password, then selects account, then select deposit machine. So what are these different types of entities that this in this uh, mm, in this sequence diagram you are just identifying the different functions that have been available for, or these are the different events that can interact between two objects. Now what are the attributes related to these different events? So right from sorry, in between your states. So sorry, in from your objects. So in your different objects you are having, let's say, insert card, then enter password, select account. So these are different uh, events in your particular scenario. So you can manage your uh, scenarios in this event diagram. So this is how you can model your event diagram. So meanwhile, if I'm thinking that I'm just going out of time, no, fine, thank you. So this is all from my side for today's class. So if you are having again some question, then you can ask me. Yeah, if you are